When I first met Nathan Caldwell, I thought I'd finally found my person, the kind of man who could make me laugh in the middle of an argument, who remembered how I liked my coffee, who made ordinary days feel cinematic. He was intelligent, successful, charming in that effortless way that made everyone, from waiters to CEOs, lean in when he spoke. And for a while, I believed every word that came out of his mouth. We met 6 years ago at a financial seminar, of all places. I'd gone there to network for my job in real estate, and he was one of the keynote speakers, a financial consultant who specialized in wealth preservation. He had this calm confidence when he talked about long-term stability, about planning for the future. After his talk, I introduced myself, half expecting him to be too busy to notice me. Instead, he smiled that easy, practiced smile and said, "That's a rare..." That was the beginning. Within a few months, we were inseparable. He moved into my house, the one I'd bought after years of scraping and saving. We traveled, cooked together, planned our future. He'd talk about children, a bigger house, and one day even building a foundation to help underprivileged families. I was in love, the kind that makes you blind to details. Then, one night, while we were sitting on the couch, wine glasses between us, he brought up an idea. "You know, honey," he said, casually swirling his drink, "I've been thinking, we should restructure how we handle our assets. Put everything under one name, mine. It's cleaner for tax purposes and safer if something happens. We can set it up as marital property, but legally, it's just simpler if it's under one person." I remember hesitating. "Everything? Like my house?" He laughed softly, kissed my forehead. "Baby, we're a team. What's mine is yours. I'm just trying to make sure we're not paying unnecessary taxes. I'll show you all the paperwork." And he did. He had spreadsheets, documents, even his accountant's signature. It all looked legitimate, professional, and I trusted him. I let him handle it. Within 2 months, the house deed, some investment accounts, even our joint savings were shifted to his name. I didn't see it as losing control. I saw it as partnership. But partnerships only work when both people are honest. It started small, little things. He'd come home late and say he was at networking dinners. I'd find receipts from hotels, expensive restaurants, and when I asked, he'd wave it off. "Client expenses, babe. It's all business." Then I noticed something strange. A statement from a bank I didn't recognize. It came in the mail, addressed to him, but for some reason it was mixed with our joint bills. Curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. Inside was a balance statement showing nearly $180,000 in an account I'd never heard of. My first instinct wasn't even anger. It was confusion. Where did that money come from? Why hadn't he told me? When I confronted him, he didn't even flinch. "Oh, that's just a business account," he said easily. "It's for consulting clients. You wouldn't understand the structure." "But why is my name nowhere on it?" He sighed. "Because it's complicated. You're overthinking again." Overthinking. That word became his weapon. Every time I asked questions, I was overthinking. Every time I felt uneasy, I was paranoid. And the worst part? I believed him. But the unease didn't leave. It grew, quietly, underneath the surface. Then, one afternoon, while he was away at a conference, I received a call from a woman named Diane Keller. She introduced herself as a private banker from Rexton Financial, a firm I'd never dealt with. "Mrs. Caldwell," she said politely, "I just wanted to confirm that you and Mr. Caldwell will both be attending the signing tomorrow for the account transfer." "Account transfer?" I asked slowly. "What account?" There was a brief pause. Then her tone shifted, cautious. "Oh, perhaps he hasn't informed you yet? The new account under Caldwell Holdings. He listed both of you as partners, but the transfer is consolidating into a single ownership under Mr. Caldwell." My hand tightened around the phone. "Can you email me the details, please?" I'm not supposed to," she said, "but given your name is still on the original documents, I can send you the summary." When I opened that email, I felt the floor tilt beneath me. The consolidation she mentioned included every major asset we had: the house, my investment portfolio, even the joint account I'd used for bills. He was moving everything, piece by piece, out of my reach. And the kicker? The final transfer was set to complete in 7 days. I sat in my kitchen staring at those documents for hours. I wanted to scream. I wanted to call him and demand answers. But then something in me shifted, a quiet, cold calm. If he thought he could outsmart me, he was about to learn how wrong he was. The next morning, I called my friend Eva McKinney, a lawyer who specialized in family and financial law. We met for coffee, and I laid everything out: the asset transfers, the hidden accounts, the planned consolidation. She listened without interrupting, her expression sharpening with each detail. "Lydia," she said finally, "you need to act now. If he completes those transfers, you'll have no claim. But there's still time." She explained the plan. We'd quietly reverse what we could, establish my ownership through documentation, and prepare a legal motion to freeze any further asset movement until a formal review. The best part? Nathan wouldn't know a thing until it was too late. Over the next week, Eva and I worked like spies. We gathered every receipt, every email, every proof of purchase that tied me to the property and accounts. She filed discrete motions, transferred titles, and notified key institutions that ownership disputes were pending. The phrase she used was temporary asset protection order. It sounded harmless, bureaucratic, but it would stop Nathan's plan dead in its tracks. By the 6th day, the trap was ready. When Nathan came home that night, he was all smiles. "You'll never believe the deal I just closed," he said, pouring himself a drink. "We're going to be set for life." I smiled back. "That's great, honey. Maybe we should celebrate. How about dinner at that little place downtown?" He grinned, kissed my cheek, and agreed. The next morning, he left early for meetings. I followed an hour later to the courthouse. Eva had everything prepared. I signed the last set of documents transferring the house deed and financial assets back under my name. The court approved the freeze order immediately. That afternoon, I received confirmation. All his transfers were officially nullified. Everything, from the house to the accounts, was protected. That night, he came home humming, carrying a stack of papers. "Big day tomorrow," he said, eyes gleaming. "I need you to sign a few things before the notary arrives." He spread the papers on the table. I scanned the first page. Divorce petition. I looked up slowly. "You're filing for divorce?" His expression didn't even flicker. "Lydia, let's not make this dramatic. It's just not working anymore. You'll be taken care of course. I'm not heartless." My pulse stayed steady. "You're right," I said softly. "You're not heartless. You're just careful." He frowned, confused. "Do you know what's funny?" I continued. "You spent so much time planning this. The transfers, the hidden accounts, the fake consulting trips. But you made one mistake." He straightened. "What are you talking about?" I pulled out my phone and played the audio file I'd recorded during his call with the bank. His voice, crisp and clear. "Yes, transfer everything into my personal account. My wife won't know a thing." The color drained from his face. "Lydia." "Oh, and one more thing," I interrupted. "Your lawyer might want to check the updated documents before your big day tomorrow." He snatched the divorce petition off the table, flipping through the pages. Then froze. The property list was empty. Every asset, every account he thought he controlled was gone from the record. His hands trembled. "What did you do?" "I took back what was mine," I said evenly. "And I did it legally. The courts know everything. The assets are frozen until further notice. You can still file for divorce, Nathan, but you'll be walking away with nothing." For the first time since I'd met him, he was speechless. His perfect composure shattered. He tried to recover, to use that same smooth voice that once melted my resolve. "Lydia, let's be reasonable. We can fix this. I was just protecting us, baby. I laughed, a sharp, humorless sound. Protecting us? You were protecting yourself. You underestimated me, Nathan. You forgot who handled the contracts in this house. You forgot I learned from you. He tried to talk again, but I was done listening. The next morning, his lawyer called mine. Apparently, Nathan had tried to proceed with the divorce filing, but the judge refused to process any financial settlements until the fraud investigation was complete. Eva and I sat in her office sipping coffee while she read the message aloud. "He's furious," she said, grinning. "Good," I replied. "Let him stew." The investigation took months. Banks reviewed the transfers, confirmed the forged authorizations, and traced his hidden accounts. When it was over, the verdict was simple: financial deception with intent to defraud a spouse. The ruling favored me. Nathan lost everything. The house reverted solely to my name. His accounts were seized pending restitution. Even his so-called consulting firm was flagged for audit. When the judgment came through, Eva smiled and said, "You're officially debt-free, asset-secure, and ex-husband-free." I felt an odd calm settle over me. Not triumph, not gloating, just peace. Weeks later, Nathan tried to contact me. A long, rambling email filled with apologies and half-baked excuses. "I did it for us," he wrote. "I wanted to secure our future." I didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded the email to my lawyer and blocked his address. Months passed. I sold the house we'd shared, not because I needed to, but because I wanted to start somewhere new. I bought a small lakefront cottage 2 hours away, quiet and bright, where mornings smelled like coffee and pine trees instead of deceit. One afternoon, I received a call from Diane, the same banker who'd unknowingly tipped me off. She sounded cheerful. "Just wanted to let you know, Mrs. Caldwell, that your former husband's accounts have been officially closed. You're completely clear." I thanked her, hung up, and sat there watching the light ripple across the water. For the first time in years, I felt weightless. Sometimes I think back to the version of myself who signed those papers so easily, who believed that love meant trust without boundaries. I want to hug her and warn her. Now I understand that trust doesn't mean blindness. It means believing someone and verifying them. Nathan thought he'd left me penniless. Instead, he taught me how to reclaim my power and how to never let anyone hold my future in their hands again. And when people ask if I'd ever fall in love again, I just smile. Maybe one day. But next time, I'll make sure the signatures are mine and mine alone. You've just stepped into her revenge side, where every wound finds its justice, and every silence ends with truth. If her story struck a chord, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Another secret waits in the next video. See how her revenge begins.